So in continuation with previous discussion on corrosion in various medium, today we will cover two medium. One is sulfur and the second one is acids. So let's start with the corrosion by sulfur bearing medium. So here we are going to talk about like how metal or metal alloys is going to behave, or what kind of corrosion is going to be happen when metal and metal alloy is interacting with hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, or elemental sulfur. So metal alloy reaction with other sulfur containing compound such as carbon disulfide. So these could be the medium of sulfur containing, and here if they are present in the environment and if they are interacting with metal and metal alloy, then what kind of corrosion is going to be happen, we can see here. So interaction with sulfur dioxide generally produce the scales, and that scale sometimes consists the oxide and sulfide both together, and or even sulfate also. So what is the process of sulfidation? Here formation of metal sulfide when divalent metal is going to interact with the sulfur vapor which is having S2 molecule, then it could have this kind of reaction, metal plus half S2, you can say it formed the MS, metal sulfide. And here the driving force of this reaction is decrease in the free energy of the reaction, or driving force is the decrease in free energy attending the reaction. We can understand the sulfide reaction here. So it could be two possibilities when metal ions are interacting with the sulfur ion. The first is an outward diffusion of cation, means if you consider this is the surface where this is the metal and this top is the vapor of the sulfur. So if you see here, this is the basically the interface region. So in interface region there are two possibility. The one is either metal, which is basically have converted into metal plus 2 ion plus 2 electron, and this metal ion may diffuse toward outside the surface of metal, and then it react with the sulfur. Here sulfur is either it will be S2 or S state, and we can say when it gain 2 electron it form the S minus 2. So this S minus 2 and M plus 2 interact at the surface and they form the MS or the sulfide. So you can see the sulfide region is there, and then slowly it all entire region will convert into sulfide, and we call it a sulfide scale or metal sulfide. So here the reaction is one kind, or you can say it's one approach, that is known as the outward diffusion of cation. Similarly, it also possible. So see the figure B here. This one is the interface region. Below this is the metal, and this is the sulfur vapor. Here again, sulfur is having the S minus 2 ion, and metal is having metal plus 2 ion. But here the possibility could be different. Sulfur may diffuse toward the metal surface or inside the metal, and it may react with the metal ion and form M plus S minus 2 is MS. So then we can say it's form the sulfide formation, and again this entire region will be converted into the metal sulfide, and we can say it's a sulfide scale. So these two possibilities are there when sulfur is interacting with the metal, and it's usually possible, or it's a generalized process for any kind of metal. So Sulfur and its compound basically is highly reactive, and we can consider their reactivity is almost next to the oxygen. Means oxygen is the most reactive, however sulfur is also very reactive. Therefore, if any surface content is present in any environment, we have to be very careful while assessing the corrosion behavior of that particular metal or alloy. So what is the mechanism of sulfur corrosion and failure? So as you have seen in the previous slide, sulfur atom tend to diffuse toward the metal atom, try to migrate to the surface through the scale. So basically the scale is there, right? One thickness, whatever you have seen, and through that scale it may migrate and may react with the sulfur. Scale formation is essential prerequisite to this diffusion process. So of course when we start diffusion interacting, the scale will form, and surface scale is obvious, sometimes porous. So if it is porous, then diffusion is easily possible, and you can say the diffusion of sulfur is accelerated. But if it is compact and very dense, then diffusion is not so easily possible. So in actual practice, the mechanism highly complicated due to heterogeneous condition. But these are seems very simple, but in a realistic, you don't know what kind of sulfur component is there, and if it is known, then what is metal, and then the reaction between metal and sulfur, and even how this sulfur scale is surface scale is going to form. That is also complicated issues. So sulfur bearing medium is also create a lot of different kind of corrosion, and we need to understand it in different manner. Here we can see one example to understand this corrosion in sulfur and sulfur bearing medium. The example is elemental surface, sulfur, and the corrosion and cracking of type 304 stainless steel. Let's publish in this article, corrosion volume 47. Is how the corrosion is going to be happen if elemental sulfur is present and it is reacting with 304 stainless steel. So in this particular experiment, elemental surface was present in aqueous medium, and when the steel was immersed in the solution, so considerable weight loss was noticed, and it is happened due to shallow pitting of plain carbon steel. And it is also observed that iron sulfide is formed as a corrosion product. If you see here, so iron sulfide is formed as a corrosion product. Reaction, you can consider sulfur plus 2 hydrogen plus 2 electron, that is formed first S2S, and then subsequently Fe2 ion was there, which is present in the steel. They react with S2S and form Fe2S. So basically in this reaction Fe2S is formed when steel is reacting with the sulfur ion. So corrosion and pitting of highly alloyed steel also occur in presence of elemental sulfur. Here in this experiment, after exposure, so how they have performed the experiment, they have just dipped that steel in sulfur based solution. Then after exposure, the sample was taken out, washed and water in acetone, then dried and weighted, and then weight loss was examined. They have basically also investigated the weight loss at the flat specimen and U bend. Basically one specimen was flat and then another experiment was having a U shape, basically a kind of bend, and then what is happening at this U shape area, that was also investigated. So they found like approximate 15 milligram and 30 milligram for the flat specimen and U bend area respectively. So you can see here almost, it's not almost, exactly double. So almost double is the weight loss when you are having the U bend. Means if it is stressed, if there is any kind of pressure is applied in the your metal or metal alloy, it basically aggregate or accelerate the corrosion reaction, and here you can see the output almost double weight loss is happened in that case. Then they have also performed the microscopic experiment, and surface was generally observed as rough, a small rounded pit was found that was less than 5 micrometer deep, but crack were not very visible here, which is associated with the pit. When cracking occurred, it was always associated with a large pit. So they have investigated the cracks also, and what they found, they observed like when there is a large size of pit are there, then only the cracks are initiated and found. Otherwise, in small pits, there is no cracking happening. So in all the cases, the large pit and cracking occurred on the outside surface of the bend. In all the cases, what you observe, in case of bend structure, only this outer surface, they observe the crack, not the inner surface. Why? And they are also saying because the outer surface is having a kind of stress that is tensile. Here we can see the microscopic images of the sample which is having a different environmental condition, and this feature is associated with the 304 SS steel which is having U bend after exposure to the aqueous solution, and temperature was 80 degrees Celsius and the time was 14 days. So it was kept for 14 days and they had investigated. So figure A basically shows, see if you can see here the rough surface, and rough surface means some corrosion is initiated here, and this the experiment condition was pH value was around 6.5 and the chlorine concentration was 1000 ppm. It was in air and there was no sulfur content. So it shows if there is no sulfur, but still if chlorine is present, then it can have some kind of corrosion, but that is not very intense and only uniform kind of corrosion is happening. Figure B basically shows major pitting. You can see it's large pitch is found here, this area. And why? Because here the ppm level is, this chlorine is very high, it's 50,000, pH value is 3.5. Here we have the nitrogen, so we replace the oxygen. Without oxygen, no oxygen present is there, so that we can see the effect of sulfur and chlorine only. And then sulfur was also present there. So in first experiment there was oxygen, small amount of chlorine, which shows this kind of uniform corrosion because oxygen is present there in the system, and no sulfur. So that shows if sulfur is not there, still corrosion is there, oxidation kind of reaction, and chlorine also affect. But in second reaction, it confirmed like if there is no oxygen, still if the sulfur is there, it has very high corrosion chances, and you can see a very large pit is formed. Similarly, large pit is formed in this pH value where chlorine is having this much size, nitrogen and sulfur. So this is another third reaction, like even the size of the pit is large, very large. The last one basically shows the associated crack with the large pH. So even here the rough surface similarly associated cracks with the pH value 6.5, 10 ppm and air. So means if there is a large crack formation, large pit formation is there, whether it's sulfur is there or not, both the cases cracks could be there. So cracks are mainly associated with the pit. Doesn't matter like sulfur is there or oxygen is there. So elemental sulfur increases considerably the amount of corrosion in all solutions that contain a high concentration of chlorine. Means if the chlorine concentration is higher, then even sulfur is more dangerous. It is increasing the high corrosion, and it is having the chance of having large size pit formation. Further, elemental sulfur is necessary to cause pitting on the outside surface of the bend region of the U bend, but its presence is not sufficient to cause pitting. Means if only sulfur is there, then it cannot initiate. So sulfur is necessary, but it's not only sufficient. Some other content should also be there, like chlorine or other. So elemental sulfur and oxygen are necessary to cause cracking, but their presence are not sufficient to cause cracking. Elemental sulfur and oxygen both are necessary to cause cracking, but only their presence is not there, like it should be chlorine or it should be a kind of pit formation. Then only we are able to observe the crack formation. So whenever cracks are there, they are always associated with the large pit. Similarly, let's say if there is S2S present in the experiment or the surrounding or the environment. In first case, we have seen like if elemental sulfur is there, here if S2S is there. So the combined action of S2S and CO2 can influence the composition, stability and protective nature of corrosion product scale. So basically the first, whenever metal sulfide is formed, that is kind of a protective layer. But if these kind of S2S and CO2 is present, then that layer is basically not very stable. The stability and composition will vary if this kind of S2S and CO2 environment is present. Even methanol is known to have a high solubility for oxygen, and it has been the source of many corrosion problems in shore services. Traces of oxygen in system containing S2S may be sufficient to oxidize the S2S and result in free sulfur, which is highly aggressive and will lead to the serious pitting attack. So traces of oxygen in system, if there is any small amount of oxygen is present there and it also is S2S, then it's more dangerous, and then S2S may be sufficient to oxidize the S2S and result in free sulfur. So S2S will oxidize and it will have free surface, and then again free sulfur will react and will form the pit. And across a wide pH range and a considerable variation in S2S concentration, the predominant corrosion product that will form on steel is basically FeS. So if iron is there, S2S is there, then S2S react with iron and it will form the Fe1 plus X sulfur. Like Fe and sulfur is not in exactly same composition, but it could be formation of like Fe1 plus X into S. So now we'll discuss couple of parameters which affect the basically pit initiation or pit formation in a metal sulfide film. So first could be the ratio of CO2 with respect to H2S. Like CO2 ratio H2S, if it is higher than 200, then there is a large chance to have a pit formation. Similarly, chlorine ion concentration, if it is more than 50,000 per ppm, then it's having a high chance to have the pit formation. Next parameter is pre-corrosion of surface of the steel. If already some pre-corrosion is happening or is there, then particularly prior exposure to the chloride containing fluid like completion or hydrochloric acid from acidizing treatment. So if already pre-exposed in chloride, then there will be difference in the pit formation. Next, low pH condition. British sample is exposed in low pH condition. Lack of inhibition or low frequency batch inhibitor or inhibition. So if there is no inhibitors or no basically something to protect the material, then of course there will be difference in the pit initiation in sulfide. Erosive flow, erosion is there. Oxygen ingress through air intertrain in the injected chemicals are in pigging operation. And the last could be the damage directly to the sulfide layer by infection or equipment like capillary finger or pig. Like if you damage that layer by doing some kind of pre-infection, so that is again going to increase the pit initiation or going to have a pit formation reaction. This is the one more example effect of elemental sulfur and sulfide and the corrosion behavior of CrMO, chromium, molybdenum, low alloy steel for tubing and tubular component in oil and the gas industry. Published in Materials 2017. So here they have studied chromium molybdenum based alloy at pH 2 and 5 during 10, 20 and 30 hour immersion in two different solutions. The first, and the reaction was basically a kind of electrochemical reaction where the counter electrode was used as a graphite. They use AgAgCl as a reference electrode and saturated silver chloride, and then this material is used as a working electrode. This is steel material. And here what they found, corrosion resistance of chromium and MO alloy in the presence of elemental sulfur is significantly lower than its resistance in the presence of sulfide ion. Okay, so sulfide ions are more dangerous as compared to the elemental sulfur that they have investigated in this particular experiment. So that was brief about the corrosion in basically sulfur bearing solution. Then in the next segment, here I am going to talk about corrosion in acid medium. Let's say if a metal is immersed in an acidic medium, what kind of reaction will happen and what kind of corrosion could be there. So acid corrosion is basically a wearing away or a gradual destruction of material by acidic compound. Acid involved may come from the atmosphere, maybe from soil or the groundwater, and the water is necessary for the reaction to proceed. So the source of acid could be anything. So in general applications or practical applications, or it also possible maybe during your process or during the application of a particular setup. Maybe during the other reaction, acids are generated, and then that acid is going to create a kind of corrosion in the system. So acid corrosion of metal is caused by the electrochemical process. It is again here, and corrosion acid can be understood as here by one example. Let's say the corrosion of a zinc strip when it is immersed in 1 molar HCl acid solution. So what will be the reaction? Basically zinc react with 2HCl, it will form ZnCl2 and hydrogen gas. Could be elaborated like zinc, and then HCl is break into 2H plus and 2Cl minus. So then zinc will react with this 2Cl, and zinc plus 2 plus 2Cl. They react together and form the ZnCl2, and then 2 basically H2. So hydrochloric acid molecule dissociates as ion H plus and chlorine minus and become one molecule of zinc chloride. Similarly, if zinc react with the sulfuric acid, so let's say zinc sulfate and form zinc sulfate, like with there we see it form the zinc chloride. Similarly, it form the zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. The reaction could be against this zinc plus H2SO4, that is ZnSO4 plus H2. Reaction again zinc plus 2H plus ion and SO4 minus 2 ion. So zinc plus ion is going to react with SO4 minus 2 ion, and then also we are going to have the hydrogen. So similarly, many other metal also corrode by acid, often yielding salt and hydrogen gas, as shown in the equation for the respective iron or aluminium. Like iron case, it forms Fe plus 2 and then some salt. Aluminium case, Al plus 3 ion and salt, depending upon what kind of acid is there. If HCl is there, then FeCl3, FeCl2. If some other SO is there, then FeSO4. So similarly, they have just given one kind of idea like Fe ion and then hydrogen will be there. This one example here we can say, so here they have investigated corrosion study of mild steel in aqueous sulfuric acid. So when mild steel is immersed in sulfuric acid, how it is going to observe the corrosion. Meanwhile, they have also added this 4-methyl 4H124 triazole 3-thiol and 2-mercaptonic acid and experimental and theoretical studies. So corrosion of mild steel in 0.1 mm aqueous solution acid medium. So 1.1 molar they have taken the sulfuric acid, and they have investigated the weight loss, basically potentiodynamic polarization method. Both they have used, and in presence of these two, so they have observed here like absorption of 2 Ma and 4 Mt. 2 Ma means 4-methyl this and 2-mercaptonic acid. If these both are present at the surface, they act as a proton barrier that decrease the corrosion rate. A mild steel in acidic corrosion medium means, have you seen like H plus ion is there, right? So if that kind of layer is there, if these materials are available or present during the surrounding, they basically reduce the corrosion rate. So there is a kind of protection from the acid corrosion what they have observed. So they have given the other more detail like how they have fabricated the electrode, then how they have basically do the polishing, and then how they have basically make the surface clean, and then an aluminum oxide suspension by using, then electrode was washed in sonic acid, and then graphite was another electrode, and then they observed the weight loss. And this experiment, these things are given in detail in this particular um, reference. The result they have what they have shown here, what is happening when they are having the two different uh, basically the solution available within that acidic bath. So one is 2Ma, the Tefl plot of the mild steel electrode measured in H2S solution in the absence or in the presence of basically 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 mole and 1 to the power minus 4 of. So see, one is in the blank. So when you are having, see, you can compare, see, this is at the increased concentration of 2Ma, figure A is Ma. So this is 2Ma chemical when they have added. You can see the total current is different. Here the current is slightly higher, and see the current is going to be basically lesser here. So that means there is a slower in the corrosion rate. The second one is when we are having 4MT. So this is the figure 4MT. And in this case also you can see as compared to the blanks, when they are adding the 1E minus 4M and 1E 3M, in both the cases there is a difference in the corrosion current. So here we can see the experimental result, and basically the potential dynamics. You can see the value of E corrosion, RP, E, and if you see when they have changed the value of 4MT, the concentration of 4MT and 2Ma. So see there is a change in the value of resistance. The corrosion resistance is changed a lot. See, we have this RP value. So based on this RP value, we can calculate the corrosion rate, and they have calculated and then have found out this result like absorption of 2Ma and 4MT molecules onto the mild steel surface is strongly lower the corrosion current of the mild steel in this aggressive medium. Means this is helpful to reduce the corrosion. So that was done from my side here, and thank you very much. So in our next discussion, we will talk on corrosion protection. So till now, bye bye. Thank you.